Hi guys, welcome to this session in Microsoft Excel. In this module, I want to show you when to use fixing cells or dollar signs and when not to use it. So on the screen, I've got an example where I'm just going to do the total for this spreadsheet. So if I highlight all of that area, the key command for sum in Excel is the Alt key and equal. So I'm pressing that and it'll do the sums for me. That's the same as clicking the sum button up there, but obviously just slightly quicker. Now, if I want to work out, for example, the percentage, if I just type that there, percent, let's say I want to work out what that 319 is as a percentage of the total at the end. This would be the formula. Equals B13 divided by N13. I'll just tick that for a second. You get a number less than 1. You need to format that to a percent. So you could go there and play around with the decimal points, or you can go in here and select that because it's already on 2 decimal places. 6.67 is the correct answer, but when you pull that across, you're going to get div 0 because if you click on the first div 0 and have a look, C13 is the total for February, but it's moved across to O13, which is the first orange cell, which is blank. So that's telling you I can't divide by 0. This one is looking at D13 divided by P13. D13 is correct. P13 is the second orange cell. So what you have to do is lock that N13, make it absolute is the technical term, but most people would say lock it or fix it so it doesn't move across into those orange cells when you pull it over. Now the symbol that you need to use in Excel is the dollar sign. So up on the top, I need to lock this N13 on the formula bar. There is a key command I can press that will put dollar signs in front of the N, which is all I need for this example, and also in front of the 13. So I'll just press F4. That is the key command, which will put dollar signs around that cell reference. If I press it again, look, it'll take one of them off, and then the other one. And actually that is what I need, locking column N, because I'm pulling across. If I press it again, the F4 key takes it off altogether. I'm going to press it on again so it's both on. So if you're not sure, you can just leave it on like that and it'll still work. If I tick this and then pull that across, it will allow me to do that all the way over. Now if I just do that again coming down, so now I want to know what 1025 is as a percentage of the total. So I type in equals, clicking on N5, doing a divide, clicking on N13. Now I know that I'm going to pull that down, so I'm pressing F4 on there. Now in this example, because I'm coming down, I could get away with just having a dollar sign on the 13, but I'm just going to leave it like that for now because it'll still work. And it's come up with 2143, which is correct. I'll pull that down into that first orange cell and I get 100%. So that is a good example when you would use dollar signs. Now if I go into this second sheet, there's a few different things going off here. So I've got some sales, I've got a markup, which is looking at that cell. And then I've got a total cell that is basically adding those two up. So if you look at the markup formula, it's listed there, look. It's C2, which is that figure there, times H1, which has got 10% in it. And that's dollar sign, and that it's locked. Because if I pull this down, I need each of these cells to look at that. Now if I change that to 20%, which I will do, all of these cells in the green will update automatically because they're all looking at that cell. Now if I do that formula without the dollar signs on, so if I click up here and press the F4 key 3 times, 1, 2, 3, no dollar sign, tick. First one still works, but when I pull it down, I'll just double click it down, I'm getting blank pound signs because this second one is looking at H2. There's nothing in H2. The third one is looking at H3 and so on and so on. So you do need to have the dollar signs in this example. F4, ticking that. and then pulling that down. Now this one hasn't got dollar signs on because it's just looking across the row there. It's just adding these two up. So if I just delete these ones off, delete them all actually. Now sum, adding those two up, tick, get the answer, and then I can just pull it down. There is no need for a dollar sign because they're just looking across the row like that. I'll get my little black cross and double click it down. There you go. So no dollar sign needed there. Running total though, what I'm going to do here is I want this to start adding these up. So I want it to add those two and then add those three and so on as I come down. So again, I'm going to use the sum function, and it's got E2, which is right, but what I need to do is get up on there, press F4 to lock that E2, and then do a colon and type E2 again. I've actually deleted that first one. So E2 at the beginning, F4, colon, E2. So if I tick that, still get the right answer, same answer. But when I pull that down, now this is adding these two up. So if I highlight these two, down the bottom there, you can see the total is the same as what it says there. And if I pull it down again, I'll keep pulling it down and then just highlight these four now. So 131332, 1332. So what's happening here is the first E2 is locked, the second E2 was not locked, so it's just expanding down to E5. That one will be E4, E3, E2. That was the first one. So that side of the formula is not locked, this side is fixed. And that's what you can achieve by doing that running total. Now the next sheet is a mixed reference. So what I've got here is like the times table, up to 10 anyhow. And I want to do a formula where it's going to go 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2, etc. So let me just delete all of this off. Now this is a mixed reference. So if I go equals that cell, B2, times C1, I can't click on C1, so I'll have to type it. And I'll tick that. 1 times 1 is 1. Now 1 times 2 is 2. That works. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. No, it's come up with 6. 1 times 4 is 4. Now it's come up with 24. What's happening here? And so you see what's happening as I'm pulling this across, it's totally going wrong. And the reason that is doing that, if you look at this one, the formula is moving along. It's no longer looking at column B, it's looking at G2. And G2 is the one before it. So it's multiplying that by H1, 6. That's where it's getting the answer from. So that's not working. So what I need to do there is fix column B first off. So if I go equals, I'll just click on B1 times C1. So that's the same formula. I'll just tick that for a minute. So I need to lock the B. Now if I click up on the formula bar, I can press the F4 and keep pressing it until I just have one on the B, which is 2 times, so it's that one. Now if I tick that and pull it across, I'll just go a little bit, it should be exactly the same, 1 times 1, etc, etc. So that's working, that's great. But what happens if I pull that down? So if I come down with this one, so that says 1 times 1, 1 times 2. What if I go down? So 3 times 1 is 6. Now that's not working either. So I've done something wrong there as well. So what I've got to do now is fix this top row in this formula. So the row is 1. So I'm clicking into C1. I'm pressing F4 to get the dollar signs on. You can actually just type these, but F4. This time I want the number 1, row 1, to be locked. So I'm pressing F4 again. There's the dollar sign on the 1. I just pressed it once. So that's what I want. So now what should happen is I should be able to pull that all the way across, and that should work. And then I should be able to pull that all the way down, and that should also work because I've set the links right. So 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, etc. 3 times 3 is 9. So it's now working it out correctly, and that's called a mixed reference. So the first part of the formula has got the column locked, the second part of the formula has got the row locked. So that's all I want to talk about on this little video, how you can use dollar signs to lock cells or make them absolute, and when you should use them and when not to use them. So hopefully that video was of use. Thank you for your time, and I'll catch you on the next one.